So good morning everyone. In today's class we are going to discuss the working of hydraulic brake system. So hydraulic brake usually you have seen in cars, bikes and cranes etc. So this is a diagram which I am making here is these are the four wheels of the car. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4 wheels of the car and this is the brake. So how this system will work we will try to understand in this lecture. So when you press this brake, what will happen? This directly connected with master cylinder and all these things which we are going to discuss in today's class. So first point I want to tell you what is the working principle of this hydraulic brake system. So working principle of this hydraulic brake system is Pascal's law. So first of all, in order to understand hydraulic brake system, we have to understand Pascal's law. So Pascal's law simply states that whenever you exert pressure in any part of the liquid, so that pressure will be transmitted equally and undiminishingly all the direction throughout the liquid. So I have written it state that pressure exerted anywhere in a confined liquid is transmitted equally and undiminishingly in all the direction throughout the liquid. Suppose I have taken example. This you have seen, this is used to lift car etc in the workshops. So you have seen here you are applying a small amount of force here and this force is multiplied many a times at this end. Why these things happens guys? Because I know that if I change pressure at one end, let it be pressure at this end, we have changed P1. So this and let it the change in pressure here is P2. So the according to Pascal's law, change in pressure at one point will be moved throughout equally and undiminishingly. So according to Pascal's law, P1 must be equal to P2. This pressure at this point which I have changed is transmitted equally and undiminishingly throughout the liquid. So guys, can I say that this pressure P1 is nothing but F1 in by A1, pressure is equal to force per unit area, and P2 is nothing but F2 by A2, and since P1 is equal to P2, so F1 by A1 is equal to F2 by A2. So this, from this conclusion, what I can say that guys, F2 can be calculated as F1 A2 by A1. So suppose if we have to multiply this force many a times, we increase the area of cross section on the other side. So this principle on which hydraulic brake, hydraulic lift, hydraulic machines works. So they basically works on the principle of force multiplier. Suppose you have applied 5 Newton force at this end and area of cross section I have taken 2 meter square. So pressure actually 2.5 Pascal. This pressure will be same here 2.5 Pascal here, 2.5 Pascal here. So now what we have done, area we have increased by 10 folds, means area becomes 20 meter square now. So P2 is F2 by A2, which is nothing but 2.5. Now P2 is actually equal to P1. P2 is equal to P1. So P2 is nothing but 2.5 Pascal. So F2 when you calculate 50 Newton. So you have applied force of 5 Newton and you are getting force of 50 Newton. So this force which you applied at the input is getting 10 folds multiply here at the output. That's why it is force multiplier. So hydraulic lift, hydraulic jack, hydraulic everything, whatever you will study, this works on the principle of this force multiplier. So the diagram which I have shown here is 4 wheels of the car, 2 front wheel and 2 rear wheel. So in this diagram I have taken only, in the diagram where I will explain the working, I have taken only this section I have taken. So you can see here I have taken this foot pedal and one of the wheels. Okay, so the principle of hydraulic machine is that which we have discussed in Pascal's law. So what is the principle? So principle that small force applied on the smaller piston is transmitted to produce large force on the bigger piston. So smaller force you are applying on which smaller piston, and that is transmitted to produce large force on bigger piston. So the piston which is smaller is your this piston A, or this is just master cylinder. Master cylinder having the piston A which is smaller in area. So you have to keep in mind this area of cross section of piston A is smaller, and this wheel cylinder having piston, this piston B1 and B2, you are saying that here area of cross section is large as compared to this. Area of cross section of this is large as compared to this. So what will happen if you apply small force here? If you apply small force here, so this will be multiply larger and you get larger force here. So we will try to understand how this works. So in order to understand, we have to understand the construction of this hydraulic brake system. This is your hydraulic brake system. So I am writing here, this is your hydraulic brake system. Hydraulic brake system, BRAKE, brake system. This is your hydraulic brake system. So in order to understand this, we have to understand the construction part first, and then we will go to the working principle of this. So construction, you are seeing here, this is a pipeline R. This pipeline having some liquid oil inside it. It is connected at one end to the piston A, and its another end is connected to piston B. So we have construction part, we have a pipeline R whose one end is connected to piston A and another end is connected to piston B. Piston A is smaller in area of cross section and piston B is larger in area of cross section. These pistons are connected to this brake shoe. These pistons are connected to brake shoe, and one spring is here which is connecting these two brake shoe. Okay. Now this hinge and rim are the parts of this hydraulic brake system. So I have written here, guys, I have written it consists of pipeline R. As I told you earlier, this is pipeline R containing liquid oil, one end of which is connected to master cylinder, one end is connected to piston A and master cylinder P, and another end is connected to master cylinder is attached to foot pedal. So you are seeing that this master cylinder is attached to this foot pedal, and another end is connected to wheel cylinder Q having two piston B1 and B2 attached to brake shoe. Okay, the brake shoe presses against the rim of the wheel. So the brake shoe presses against the rim of the wheel. This is the rim of the wheel. This is the rim of the wheel. So brake shoe press against this rim of the wheel. So how it works? Now we are going to explain the working. In order to apply brakes, what you will do? You will press this foot pedal. In order to apply this brake, you usually see that there are A, B, C, accelerator, brake and clutch. So you will press the brake which is in the middle. You just press the brake. So what will happen when you press the brake? You will see that foot pedal is pressed, then pressure is exerted on the liquid of the master cylinder. So what will happen? See guys, here when you press the foot pedal, so this piston will move forward like this now. So this piston, actually this piston will move forward like this. So what will happen? This liquid which is inside master cylinder will pressed. So this pressure is transmitted equally throughout the liquid na? So when this pressure comes here, pressure suppose P1 is here and this pressure P1 is P2 here. So P1 is equal to P2 na? But we know that this area, let it be 5 times larger than this area. So what will happen? Force is multiplied. Suppose you are applying 2 Newton force here. So this will become 10 Newton here. As we seen that if the area of cross section is 5 times, force is become 5 times multiplier of this force. So what we have written, each and every aspects I have noted down. So in order to apply brakes, the foot pedal is pressed. You are pressing the foot pedal, due to which pressure is exerted on the liquid in the master cylinder P. As you have seen the smaller cross section area, this master cylinder, actually pressure is this foot pedal is connected to this master cylinder. So as you press this pedal, so liquid in the master cylinder experience this pressure. So liquid runs out from the master cylinder P to the wheel cylinder Q. This master cylinder P liquid will come out and it enters to this wheel cylinder Q. Okay, because this pressure has changed here. This pressure has to travel equally and undiminishingly throughout. So what will happen then? This pressure is transmitted equally and undiminishingly throughout the liquid to the piston B1 and B2 of the wheel cylinder Q. You have seen these two cylinders B1 and B2, these two pistons in wheel cylinder Q. The B1 and B2 gets pushed outward. So B1 and B2 get pushed outward like this. What will happen? This will get pushed outward like this. So this brake will comes like this here. So you are seeing that actually what will happening? This pushed outward. So when they pushed outward, they seizes the motion of this wheel which is rotating earlier. This spring get elongated when they pressed against. So this spring get elongated. So what I have written here? So I have written the B1 and B2 get pushed outward. B1 and B2 get pushed outward, and brake shoe get pressed against the rim, and brake shoe get pressed against the rim of the wheel, due to which motion of vehicle retards. So this brake shoe is pressed when they will go outward. This brake shoe pressed. So this brake shoe is pressed against this rim of the wheel. So this brake shoe is pressing this wheel, so that actually wheel seizes this motion and the vehicle retards. So this get pressed against this brake shoe, get pressed against this rim of the wheel, and the motion retards. So I have written against the rim of the wheel, due to which motion of the vehicle retards. Now when you release the pedal, means when you remove the foot from the pedal, so what will happen? Spring pulls the brake shoe to their original position. So now brake shoe will go to this original position, which was earlier this case. Earlier this goes like this. Now spring actually, which is elongated here. Now when you remove the pressure, this brake shoe again get it into original position. So what we are seeing, that what we have written here. So the spring pulls the brake shoe to its original position. Force on piston B1 and B2 to return back to the wheel cylinder Q. So what happens? As a result, liquid runs back to the wheel cylinder Q to master cylinder P. So liquid returns back again to master cylinder from wheel cylinder. So wheel cylinder liquid is retrieved or goes back to this master cylinder, and brakes get released. And this way we can say that a car is actually stopped and move forward. Okay, so once you have applied the pad, just I am giving you summary. Once you have applied the brake, what will happen? The liquid will come out from this cylinder piston A, and master cylinder A liquid will come out, and it goes to this wheel cylinder Q. So this wheel cylinder Q actually presses this brake shoe against the rim of the wheel. This presses the brake shoe against the rim of the wheel, and it retards the rotation, or it stops the wheel of the car. When you release this spring, which was elongated earlier, now come back to its original position, and this liquid which was excess here, actually it goes back to this master cylinder, and again this releases this brake from this wheel, and wheel again start rotating if you press the accelerator. This way your hydraulic brake works. So I hope you understood this mechanism. If not, you ask in comments. So thank you everyone.